Welcome to Let's Talk To podcast, hosted by author Charnel Williams. Are you ready to spend some time with Charnel and her special guest? Join our live conversation every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, here's your host, Charnel Williams.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I apologize for being late. I know my show usually starts at 6 o'clock and it's 6:25. For bear with me. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. That's tuning in. Please share. Please like. Please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's what you have to really do. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I appreciate it. And for those who don't know me, my name is Charnel Williams, born and raised in North New Jersey, and the QR code is in for Yana 26. If you haven't purchased your ticket yet for Yana 26, please hit the QR code. Well, scan it with your phone, the QR code, and it'll take you right to the registration. So please do that. And I want to thank everybody who already registered. So now we have a special guest. Yeah, I know all of my guests are special. So we have a special guest in the house, and she's going to come on and she's going to tell y'all her name, and she's going to tell y'all a little bit about herself. It's your turn.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chasa, like cha-cha-cha. My name is Chasa. I'm with Legacy Dispatchers. Just wanted to hop on the podcast, talk a little bit about things that people aren't really talking about that may be an option for you. So I currently own a dispatching company. For those who don't actually know what a dispatching company is, we are the people who keep the drivers, the truck drivers.
Wait, you breaking up. If you can hear me, you breaking up.
I'm breaking up. Okay,
yes,
can you hear me better?
Over. Yes, now.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, I may have to take you outside. Let's see what happens. But for those who don't know, a dispatcher's role is to basically keep the truck drivers rolling, right? So our job is to make sure that the truck drivers have loads that they need to pull in order to keep them rolling. So I know that a lot of people who don't know about the freight industry. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but your light is real bright. Your lighting.
My lighting is bright.
Okay, now it looks better. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. Move up some because of the sun, I guess.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, but I can see the sun.
I'll start moving around. So, guys, the beautiful part about being a freight dispatcher is that we can do this from home. Just like I'm on the phone with you and I'm talking to you in the comfort of my home. When you are a dispatcher, you can dispatch from the comfort of your home. It's just a matter of finding the right carrier and making sure that they're a good match for you. So I also not only do, guys, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to open this so you can hear me better. But not only do I do cold calling. Oh gosh, Chanel. not only
it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Just because you said it's okay. But not only do I do cold calling sessions, I also do cold calling workshops. For someone who has no idea what a freight dispatcher does.
Let me interrupt you because now you look darker. You look like nobody can see your face.
Okay, hold on.
You have light.
Does that look better?
Let me see. Sit back down where you was at so I can see if you. It's the light. Yeah, that looks better. It's lighter.
It's a little better. It's lighter?
Yes.
Better? Okay, cool. So,
guys,
right there. This is one of the benefits, right, of working from home. You can get up and put on your bonnet and be in your robe and get on that computer or you can enjoy the great outdoors while you're sitting outside in a back porch of your house, because that's basically um, what I'm doing. But
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk to you about the freight industry, right? So we know that trucks, they bring electronics, they bring food, they bring building materials, they bring even as small as something like you using a pen to write. Those
Mm-hmm.
our truck drivers do every day. And I have taken on the journey of being a dispatcher. And let me tell you, it has been very rewarding. Now, like you, when you see this video, you'll probably go onto YouTube. You'll probably start looking at, what is a freight dispatcher? What is it like to be a freight dispatcher working from home? That's the best benefit, because we get to work from home. And once you go on the YouTube channel, you may find some things that you may be interested in, right? Because we never thought about the freight industry before. At least me personally, I never thought about the freight industry. Like, I see
Mm-hmm.
trucks on the road all the time, and I know that they're transporting goods, but I never really thought to go deep into the freight industry and find out what that's about. So that's pretty much what I do. I am a dispatcher. My job is to make sure that I keep truck drivers rolling, make sure that I keep them loaded on the back of their trailer so that they can deliver somewhere else. And that is goods from as small as a pen to as big as a bedroom set, right? Because that product has to get to you on a truck. So, Charnel, that's pretty much the industry that I'm in. Like I said, I have been doing it for 4 years. It has been
Mm-hmm.
very rewarding. It has allowed me to pivot to different parts of the freight logistics industry. So you may have a dispatcher, you may have a broker, you may have a freight forwarder, or you may work within a manufacturer or be a shipper. So I said all that to say that is what I do. I am a dispatcher. My job is to keep the drivers rolling and running on the roads and the highways that you see them on.
Mm. Let me ask you a question. What made you get started in freight?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I started in the freight industry because my husband talked to me, and he was talking about, being an owner operator, being a truck driver. And guys, I'm going to be totally transparent with you. My husband complains to go to New Jersey, let alone
Mm.
500 miles on the road. So he said to me, I can be a truck driver and you can be my dispatcher. And I was like, what is a dispatcher? Like, what? And he was like, you can put me where you want me to be. All of that sounded good, until I started actually going on YouTube, until I started actually looking at different videos and finding out what exactly a dispatcher does. So that's how I
Mhm.
got started. I got started because my husband told me he wanted to open up a trucking business, and he wanted me to be his dispatcher. But what I didn't know was I didn't know the different levels in the
Oh,
freight
wow.
industry. It
Mm.
gets deep, guys. It's not just about dispatching.
Mm. So, wow. So basically, you had to learn how to be a dispatcher, and you learned from YouTube.
I learned from YouTube, and eventually I jumped into a truck dispatching course through Exodus Logistics Learning Center. And
Hmm.
that instructor is awesome. It's truly awesome. But yes, that's how I learned about it, by my husband suggesting it, and then me going on to YouTube and doing a little bit of research and finding out exactly what a dispatcher does when it comes to
Mm.
the logistics industry.
Well, you said you was doing it for 4 years. 4 long years.
Yes, yes, it has been a journey, but you know what? Um, it has been a satisfying journey. And
Mm-hmm.
I say that because, like so many different industries, and I'm just going to use HVAC, for example, right? So there's someone who decided that they wanted to go into doing HVAC. And with HVAC, the majority of your experience comes from on the job training. So with
Mm.
dispatching, the majority of your experience is the same exact way. It comes with on the job training because there's so many different scenarios that could happen when your driver has picked up a load and supposed to deliver it. That's when you're really learning how to be a dispatcher. I'll give
Mm.
you an example. I had a driver who picked up a load. Um, I'm just going to say in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he was supposed to deliver the load in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And when the driver got to the shipper in Winston-Salem, they found out that the load that was on the back of the driver's truck was incorrect.
Mm.
So what do you do when you have an issue like that, right? What do you do when you have an issue where you have a driver who's supposed to pick up something and deliver it, and the thing that they're supposed to deliver is not even on a truck?
Mm.
It's not even on a truck. And so that's when your admin skills kick in. If you are someone who is great with administrative skills, then being a freight dispatcher is definitely the best route for you to go. So with that being said, and with that story, you know, they didn't have the load ready for my driver, and I had to talk with brokers, and we had to try to figure out how this driver was going to get the load back to get the correct product on their truck and then deliver it correctly. But that is what freight dispatching is about. It's about
Oh,
being
okay.
able to problem solve, right? Because
Mm.
you're going to have guys who are on the road who are driving trucks that's going to have mechanical issues, right? So
Mm.
you need to figure out how you're going to deal with that, because the shipper is only concerned about getting their product to somewhere else. Or you
Right.
may have someone who's on the road, God forbid, they have medical issues. So now
Mm.
they have a load that they're supposed to deliver, but your driver is dealing with medical issues. And so you need to know how to deal with that exactly. Um, Also, you may have a driver who has a load and the load gets rejected. So that
Mm.
basically means that the driver picked up the load. I'm just going to put Walmart out there. Let's say that the driver has a load of lettuce and they're supposed to deliver it to Walmart. Um, when they get to Walmart, Walmart tells the driver, "Hey, sir, um, your trailer was supposed to be at negative 34 degrees. But when your trailer got here and we checked the temperature of your trailer, it's actually 40 degrees.
Mm.
So instead of it being 34 degrees, which is as cold, it's actually 40 degrees, which is not cold. And now Walmart is rejecting that load.
Mm.
So if Walmart rejects that load because the temperature isn't correct, then it's our job as dispatchers to figure out how we can resolve the issue. So dispatching, you have to be a problem solver. If you're not a problem solver,
Mm.
this is not, this is not the right industry for you. However, I've been through enough, guys. Trust me when I tell you I have been through enough with dispatching, and I've been through enough hiccups with
Mm.
dispatching that it prompted me to write a book about the
Mm.
do's and don'ts of dispatch,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
You're getting into an industry. Some people know about it, some people don't know about it, but allow the people who have already made the mistakes
Mm-hmm.
to write a book and tell you about it so you don't make
Wow.
those same mistakes.
And that's good. And let me ask you, I see we have um uh hey Naisha, and I hope I said your name right. She wanted to know, but you clearly explained everything because she wanted to know how did you get into this type of business and how did you start this? How do she start? Like for people who want to get into this type of business, how do they start it?
Exactly, exactly. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, I believe you said her name was Naima.
No, Naisha. I hope I
Naisha.
said it right, Naisha.
Well, we hope we saying your name right. I do apologize if we not. But the first thing you want to do is you want to send me an email. Okay, so my email address, and I'll put it into the chat. My email address is chasa at legacy dispatchers.net. Okay, that is my email address. You are more than welcome to send me an email and just, let's talk about it. Right? That's what your channel is
Let's
about,
talk about
right?
it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk too. So let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation and let's see if dispatching is the thing is the thing for you. So Charnel, what a lot of people don't know and don't understand is that being let me see how I can put it in layman's terms. Being that we are now in a world where it's all about the internet, all about
Hmm.
books, all about e-learning, all about going on live and learning. In the
Hmm.
dispatching industry, you have all those platforms available to you. So if you don't know anything about freight dispatching, you can go to YouTube, right? We can always go to YouTube. You can go on Facebook, you can go on Instagram, and you also can go on TikTok because people
Hmm.
are talking about freight dispatchers. And it is a real career where you can actually work for yourself. Guys, I work from home. Some days I put on a bonnet and a robe and come to
I
work.
know that's right. I know
You
that's
know,
right.
that's why I just put on that bonnet, but
I
I
know
just get out
that's
of bed
right.
and I'm just. But the beauty of it is you can work anywhere in the country as long as you have internet service. As long as you
Mm,
have a phone and as long as you have the internet, you can make money in this industry.
mm. Wow, that's good. I think she have another question for you. Let me see. How did you go from dispatching from your for your husband to additional drivers?
Okay. So when it came to my husband dispatching, and side note, guys, he did not decide to drive trucks, which as his wife, I already know he was not going to do, right? Because we just know. Um, but I went from dispatching for my husband to learning about the industry because my husband told me that he was interested in dispatching. And so
Hmm.
when he told me, no, my husband told me he was interested in driving. And so when he told me that he was interested in driving and he wanted me to dispatch for him, that kind of forced me to go onto YouTube to look at YouTube videos and find out exactly what is a freight dispatcher,
Mm,
right? So once I started looking at different videos from different people, I finally decided on a course that I wanted to take. Now, I'm going to be totally transparent with you. If somebody is charging you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, don't use them.
mm,
Okay, because there's no reason why you need to be paying $1,000 to get knowledge on how to be a freight dispatcher. That's too much
wow.
money.
Mm,
And there are people out there who will where their main goal is just to make money, but I'm going to tell you don't do that. Please don't do that. Shop around, talk to different people, network, become a part of a Facebook group for dispatching, for freight dispatching. And that
mm,
is how you find um, your perfect instructor. But getting back to your question, so I decided to do freight dispatching, um, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Mm.
talking to carriers. I enjoyed partnering with carriers to help them make money to support their family. So once my husband decided he wasn't going to drive trucks, he did eventually become a broker.
Mm.
Okay. And the broker is the person that the dispatcher speaks to in order to book the load for the driver. So he
Mm.
completely changed on me. He decided not to be a driver. He decided to be a broker, which is fine because that's who I talk to all day long anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it just allowed me now to see what he has to deal with on the broker side. And it
Mm-hmm.
also allowed him to see what I deal with on the dispatcher side.
Mm. So explain, like, what's because I'm listening, but explain to the audience, for those who just tuning in, I want to thank you. But explain to the audience, what's the difference again between a broker and a dispatcher?
Exactly. Okay. So a dispatcher, a freight dispatcher. So let me break that down to you, right? Because I don't want to just say dispatcher because there's 911 dispatchers.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
right. So you may get that confused. So a 911 dispatcher is an emergency dispatcher, is an essential worker.
Mm-hmm.
A freight dispatcher is something completely different. We don't deal with emergencies. What we deal with is we deal with trying to find loads to book for our drivers,
Mm.
trying to keep those wheels rolling on the road. So when you're on the highway and you see a truck going past you, it is 80% um because a dispatcher booked that load to keep them from point A to point B. Now, to
Mm.
answer your question a little bit more better, what is the difference between a dispatcher and a broker? A dispatcher is the middleman. Okay?
Mm. Dispatcher minute.
Our
Mm-hmm.
purpose is to secure loads for the driver by speaking to the broker.
Mm.
Okay. So a driver is out across the United States and they need to pick up a load, right? So they will use us as a dispatcher and call us and say, hey, Miss Dispatcher, I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and I have no load to pick up. Can you help me find a load? So
Mm.
our job as a freight dispatcher is to use the tools that we have to find a load for the driver.
Mm.
Okay, that's our purpose. Our purpose as a freight dispatcher is to find a load for the driver. Okay? We are the
Mm.
middleman, right? The driver needs to find a load. So, with that being said, he calls us and he says, hey, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. I need to find a load. So, our job is to go onto these different platforms that have these loads available and find the load that suits the driver. Now,
Mm.
broker, what is the function of a broker? Okay, so there is a shipper, right? And there is a driver. The shipper has a product that they need moved. Let's just say televisions. The shipper has televisions. The shipper has to get these televisions to Walmart. So the shipper says, hey, I have 5,000 televisions that I need to move to Walmart. How am I going to find somebody to move these TVs to Walmart?
Mm.
What happens is the shipper calls the broker. So you have the
Mm.
shipper and you have the broker. So the shipper says, hey, I got all these TVs that I need moved. And the broker says, absolutely, I can move these TVs for you. Let me find a carrier. And the shipper says, okay, that's wonderful. Find a carrier to move all these TVs and I will pay you. So now there's the broker. So the broker has been communicating with the shipper, and the broker has decided that they're going to help the shipper move all these TVs. The broker doesn't have truck drivers, right? So the broker is now going to call the drivers. And that's when the broker and the driver relationship start.
Oh, because I'm assuming they call the dispatcher because the
Hold
dispatcher
on
will
one
have
second,
all that
please.
information. Hello, y'all. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Let's Talk to Podcast. How y'all doing today out there? What's going on in the world of America? So, y'all, Yana is coming up May the 2nd. I hope y'all register already. And if y'all didn't, y'all see that QR code up in the corner? All you got to do is scan it, and it take you right to the registration. All you have to do is scan that QR code in the corner, and it'll take you right. And please, y'all, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be nosy because I hear something downstairs. But please, y'all, go subscribe to my YouTube channel at Let's Talk to Podcast. It's important that y'all subscribe. Follow me on Let's Talk to Podcast on my Facebook page. I really appreciate it. And we back.
Yes, we are back. So you now have the broker, and the broker's job is to find a carrier that can help this shipper. So at this point, the broker reaches out to the carrier, and the broker says, hey, Mr. Carrier, I have a shipper who has 50 TVs. Can you help me move this load for this shipper? And that's when the dispatcher comes in. That's when we come in. Because a lot of drivers use dispatchers instead of talking directly to the broker. And we are the middleman for the shipper and the driver. We are the middleman for the broker and the driver. So, and when I say the shipper and the driver, and I say the broker and the driver, that's because a driver can have a direct relationship with a shipper, or the driver can have a direct relationship with the broker. So I hope that answers the question. I hope I didn't confuse you too much. So I hope that that helped. But as a result of me doing dispatching for as many years as I've been doing it, I also am a freight broker. So I wear two different hats. I am the dispatcher who is going to keep my guys rolling on the road, and I'm also the broker who is also going to give the guys I guess I want to say lanes, or give the guys loads. I'm just trying to say it so that everyone understands. But I also, function as the broker who gives the guys loads. So this freight dispatching is an industry that not a lot of people know about. But it is definitely an industry that you can do, and you can work from home and work in the comfort of your home. So I strongly advise you to look into freight dispatching. Like I said, I've been doing it for 4 years. I enjoy being home with my family and being there for my kids, and just, being a mom and being a wife. And so it does have its benefits. My email address is Chasa, CHASA, at legacydispatchers.net. You are more than welcome to send me an email and ask me some more questions. Or, if it's something you're thinking about doing and you want to do, that is awesome. I've also put a book up on Amazon called the do's and don'ts of dispatching, because guys, I have been through enough that I feel comfortable sharing my experiences with you. So I definitely want to encourage you to please look onto Amazon under the do's and don'ts of dispatching, if this is something that you're interested in.
Now let me ask you a question. If you type your information, is you on my Facebook page? Because type it in it so they in the comments so they can know your website. But I
Okay,
do
I
have,
can definitely do that.
yeah, type it so it can come up. And I do have a question for you far as trucking, because you were saying about the broker, and I wanted to ask you a question. Now, people who just want to get into this business, do y'all just deal with like large company like Walmart or Costco's, large company? Or because I heard that some truckers have their own trucks, they personalized trucks, and they do their business themselves with driving their own trucks and doing the freights. So how do that work?
Sure, absolutely. So there are drivers that are owner operators, and that's what you're referring to, drivers who own their own trucks. And
Mm-hmm.
there are also drivers who are employees, drivers that run for like the JB Hunts and the
Mm-hmm.
TQLs and the RXOs and the CH Robinsons. They have their employees. So my preference is to deal with drivers who are owner operators.
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like drivers who are owner operators, drivers who own their own trucks, they appreciate dispatchers more because they
Hmm.
understand that it's a partnership.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's not me working for you. It is not you working for me. This is a partnership. It's us working together towards a common goal.
Oh, okay. And them drivers can drive. So say like I'm a driver, I got my own truck, and I call the dispatcher. I need freight. I need to move this, like you said earlier, TVs. I need to move all these TVs, and do they pick up, or do you give them the freights and the stuff to move it around, since they their own drivers? They wouldn't even have that on them, right?
Right. So naturally, let's just say that a driver didn't have a freight dispatcher, which is who
Mm-hmm.
I am, right? So
Mm-hmm.
naturally, they would use the tools that they have. They have something called a load board, and they would go onto the load board and they would look to see what loads are going where. So
Oh,
if
okay.
they're like in Pennsylvania and they want to get to New Jersey, they will look for
Mm-hmm.
loads that are just going to New Jersey. If they're in
Oh, okay.
Pennsylvania and they want to get to, I don't know, Mississippi, they'll look for loads for Mississippi. As a freight dispatcher, our job is to alleviate them having to look for loads, and we look for loads for them.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was
Yeah.
just wondering, like, if they had their own business, their own truck, and how do they get the loads? If, they ain't gonna have the loads they sell, how would they do that?
Right. So if they have their own business, most likely what they're doing is they're going up on load boards and they're talking to brokers and they're negotiating their loads. But being a
Mm-hmm.
dispatcher, our job is to basically alleviate them from having to do that. So our job would be to go onto the load boards, to talk with the brokers and
Mm-hmm.
negotiate the rates that they're going to get paid.
Oh, okay. So that's good. And then the dispatcher, since they knew and they got their own, well, they got their own business trucks. So the pay rate will come from the company that chose them to take the TV to such and such to A from B.
That is correct. So the
Oh,
the
okay.
the pay rate is determined by the broker if they decide to use a broker, or the pay rate is determined by the shipper. But at the end of the day, the driver knows how much they're going to get paid. So there are drivers who are owner operators who only work for themselves. And then there
Mm-hmm.
are different drivers who are employees and they work for the company.
The
and
company.
the pay is completely different. The driver who owns his own truck, he's going to make more money than the
Oh
driver who
wow.
works for a company.
Oh wow. Y'all hear them drivers? Y'all hear that?
Y'all hear that? So, and I
And
also,
why is that? Why is that though? Explain that. Well, you don't know the reason.
no, I know the reason. So if you are a driver and you own your own truck and you're picking up something at point A and delivering it to point B, then you're going to get the most money for
Oh,
that load. But if you are a driver and you work for a company, now the company has to take whatever percentage that they take off, and then they'll
yeah.
pay you
So they
after
like
that
a third.
percentage.
Yeah, they like a third party.
Exactly. They're like a third party. I mostly work with owner operators, and I mostly work with fleets with multiple trucks. Because when you work with fleets and you work with owner operators, then there's the possibility that you are removing the broker from the equation. And so then now
Mm.
there's more money on the table.
So that's what fleet mean.
I'm sorry.
That's what fleet mean.
Fleet just means a carrier that has multiple trucks. So 5+ trucks, that's considered to be a fleet.
Oh, okay. And you've been now. Do you get a since you work from home? Do you have a time limit? Like you work from 9 to 5, or they can call you 2 o'clock in the morning? How do that work?
It's 24 hours. It is
Oh
24
wow,
hours. Yeah, it's 24 hours,
wow.
but I do want to tell you that the majority of your calls are going to be between the hours of 9 to 5. And maybe as late as 7 on the East Coast, but
Hmm.
we do need to be available 24 hours because you may have a driver who is dropping off at a distribution center that is food. So a distribution center that is food that is 24 hours, you need to be available just in case your driver calls you 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and tells you,
Wow.
if they're having an issue. But that does not happen very often. But you still
Oh.
need to be available.
So far as the dispatcher pay rate, now is that overtime or you just get salary? Because is it overtime or you just get salary for that? Because 2 o'clock in the morning and you work at 9 to 5, but you got to answer phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. What is it?
Do you see my face right now? Do you see my face? So no, there is no overtime. Nobody is
Wow.
paying you any extra money to be available 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. However, like I said, it's not that often that
Hmm.
your phone is going to be ringing in the wee hours of the morning. As
Hmm.
far as our fee as dispatchers, we charge anywhere from 5 to 10% of what the driver is getting paid.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we make our money, and everything is completely transparent. The driver sees how much they're getting paid, you see how much they're getting paid, and the driver basically knows how much they're going to pay you.
Oh wow, that's good. I don't know, but driving them long hours, them roads from one state to another state. Have you ever did that? Did you drive from one state to another state just to get the feeling
No,
of being a driver?
absolutely, I'm not doing that, but I've been blessed to have really good drivers who are, just hustlers and who are
Hmm.
out there trying to support their family. So no, I have never driven a truck and
Hmm.
have no desire to drive a truck. However, I am here to partner with owner operators. I am here to partner with fleets. I am also here to advise anyone who is looking into the freight dispatching industry. If that's something you want to look into, I am
Hmm.
definitely here for that. But no, absolutely not. I will not drive a truck. My hat goes off to these drivers that are out there every day, keeping those tires rolling and dealing with all the chaos. But no, I prefer to be the partner dispatcher.
Mm. So what I just was about to ask you a question. What what happens when um you don't take the call 2 o'clock in the morning. Just say you don't have no service. What happens?
Bad and more bad, right? Because we have to be available 24/7. If a driver
Mm-hmm.
calls me and I'm not available, whenever I see that message, whenever I receive that message, I
Mm-hmm.
know that because time has slipped away, that
Mm-hmm.
whatever the situation was that could have been resolved is
Mm-hmm.
now probably going to take a few hours. So it's important. Keep your phone by you, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and tell, if you're dispatching for a driver or you're dispatching for a fleet, you want to tell them to call you. Don't text me. You texting me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Trust me, I'm not going to see it. I'm still going to be asleep. So you need to call me, wake me up, and tell me exactly what's going on.
Mm. Oh, okay. And your answer, your response.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because that phone call that you get at like 2 o'clock in the morning could be from a driver telling you that they refused his load. And so
Mm.
now, the driver has to be there longer than he needs to be. And if you've booked him a load already, then as a dispatcher, the next process is to cancel the load that you already booked him. So you want to make sure you are readily available to your drivers. Unfortunately, we're not going to get paid extra to be readily available, but that also comes with negotiating your rate for the driver. So a dispatcher normally, our rate is between 5 and 10% of whatever the load that the driver books it for.
Oh, oh, okay. And you like dealing with people who own their own trucks.
Yeah, I like dealing with owner operators, and I do like dealing with fleets. So
Mm-hmm.
anyone that excuse me, anyone that has 5 or more trucks, I like dealing with them as well. But that doesn't mean that I won't deal with anybody. I'm
Mm-hmm.
open to dealing with everybody. We just need to have a conversation and make sure that we're both on the same page. Your expectations, my expectations, things of that nature.
Oh, okay. So y'all got to be on the same page. So, for long years. So you love what you do.
Oh my God, I love it. I
Oh, for
absolutely
real?
love it. People probably think I'm crazy because I love it so much, but Charnel, honestly, I enjoy dispatching. I enjoy freight dispatching because, like I said, it's a partnership. So, a lot of us, we out here, we working for the man, the man is paying us or whatever the case may be. But now I get to work for myself. And
Oh,
now I
okay.
get to say, how much I want to be paid. And it's coming directly to me. No one's taking their cut out of my money. So the best thing about being able to work from home, I work my own hours. I determine what my hours are, and I determine my availability. And it just works for me and my family.
So
Excuse me.
this your business. Legacy Dispatches is your business.
Legacy Dispatchers is my business.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
like I said, I've been on YouTube. I've been on multiple platforms on Facebook. And I also instruct dispatchers. I help them actually gain carriers. So I actually help them increase their roster. We get on the phone and we call drivers and we talk to them and we deal with their rebuttals and we talk to them about our service. But at the end of the day, um, we're gaining more business. So that's also
Mm.
something that I offer to anyone who is interested in freight dispatching.
Oh, okay. It seems like it's a hard job. Now, could you
Wait,
handle
wait, wait.
could,
Did you say it seems like it's a hard job?
yeah, it's
It's
not.
not. You know
Oh,
what,
okay.
Charnel, it's not. If you have administrative experience, and what is administrative experience, right? Filing,
Mm-hmm.
talking on the phone, following SOPs. Um, if you can do all of that, you'll be perfectly fine as a freight dispatcher, except for now you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for other people. So that's the benefit. You're an
Now,
entrepreneur.
right, you're an entrepreneur. Now, could you get one? Because I'm thinking dispatcher. Could you get more than one call like at a time? How do that work? Like, say, like it's two people having problem, one in Virginia, one in Atlanta, and they need to talk to you. Could you get two calls at one time? How many calls up you can get?
You can get up to 5 calls at one time. So you may have a driver who's in Atlanta who has a mechanical issue. And then you may have a driver who's in, I don't know, North Carolina that's having an issue at the receiver. And then you may have another call from a person who's having an issue at the shipper. You know, or you may have another call and they put the load is completely wrong on the truck. So yeah, you have to be able to multitask. Don't think for 1 second that you cannot multitask. You have to multitask. That's part of the requirements of being a freight dispatcher. But if you know your admin, if you're strong with SOPs, and if you're strong with problem solving, right, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But it's not hard. There's more better days than there is bad days. I can tell you that.
So sometimes your day just be quiet. Sometimes you be bored, you don't have nothing to do. Working as a dispatcher, I'm talking.
Absolutely not. That does not happen. that I wish it happened, but it doesn't happen. Trust me.
So
but you know what? You won't be busy every day. You won't be, well, you will be busy every day, but you won't be busy 8 hours a day. You know, it'll be the first 3 hours, or, you know, the afternoon 3 hours, or the morning 3 hours, but you're not consistently busy every day until you have increased your roster and you have at least 5 trucks that you're dispatching for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy.
So when you started your company, was it, I know because everything, when you start new, everything just seems hard to you. You had to learn, you had to do this. So was it when you first started, just say like within a month, 2 months, did you catch on? How long did it take you to catch on to being a dispatcher?
Oh man. Why are you asking me that question? Why are you asking that question? Because I have to be honest when I say this answer.
Yes, be honest. Be honest. That's what we're here for. This is the Honest Let's Talk To podcast show.
Yeah. So to answer that question, you're never okay. You never have it. You've never got it, because the freight industry is always changing. The FMCSA rules, the federal rules that they have for the drivers, is always changing. I've been doing this for 4 years. A lot of things that I learned was within the first 2 years, but the last 2 years has been experience. It's kind of like and somebody who's in HVAC, right? So they go to school, they get all this training, and then they put them out into the field. And although they have all this training, there's going to be hiccups that, you know, that's just going to happen. And that's how you're going to learn. And that's pretty much how it is in the freight industry, as far as a freight dispatcher, which is why I encourage people to jump into a course, jump into an ongoing course, not a course that you take in 1 week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks. You need to make sure that it's an ongoing course, because there's always things changing with the FMCSA, with the federal laws. So to answer your question, no, I'm still learning every day.
Yeah, that's just like me being a publisher. I'm still learning new things every day. You know, you learn something new. But far as you being a dispatcher, you say go take a course. Round it off. I know every course different. Everybody doing courses different. Round it off how much somebody looking to pay, and which you said earlier, which you shouldn't pay. Up to and what you shouldn't.
No more than $500 for the course. And I'm going to strongly suggest that that $500 that somebody pays for the course, that it's at least a month long. And
Mm.
that's an understatement, because like I said, you need to find someone who's doing ongoing training, because you're always going to need to jump back into your course. Guys, I've been doing this for 4 years. I still jump back into my instructor's course to this day. I
Mm.
think I was in there on Saturday. And that's because now we're talking about the new rules and regulations of the FMCSA. So I want
Mm.
to strongly suggest that you don't pay any more than $500 for a course. And I also
Mm.
want to strongly suggest that this course needs to be more than 1 month, because what's
Mm.
happening is people um, are training individuals on how to become a dispatcher, and then they're ghosting them. So now
Wow.
they've given you all this foundation, and now you've tried to start learning how to dispatch, and now while you're going through it, the instructor is not available. And that, I think that
Wow.
is totally, unfair to the people who have paid for the course.
So they
So
was just in it for the money,
yeah,
basically.
they was just in it for the money. So I strongly suggest, if freight dispatching is something that you seriously, want to get involved in, make sure you have the right instructor. One of the things that I offer is I offer a cold calling workshop.
I was about
I
to ask
actually
you
have
about
one
that.
coming up. Say that again.
I was about to ask you about why you don't do workshops, but go ahead.
Oh, no, I do offer cold calling workshop. I have one starting actually next week in about 7 days. Um and the cold calling workshop is basically us getting on the phone and talking to carriers and telling them about our service, and learning how to deal with the rebuttals, right?
Mm.
Because in anything, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, guys, dispatching is sales. Don't let
Mm.
anybody tell you different. Freight brokering is sales. Don't let anybody tell you different. So
Mm.
you have to learn the foundation, and then you have to take that foundation and use it when you're on the phone with carriers. So that's what I offer. I offer a cold calling workshop. It's for 4 weeks. We get on the phone, we call carriers, we listen to their rebuttals, but we also end up gaining more business. And that's something that I have been doing since I started dispatching. I offer it probably about 3 times a year. Some are free and some are not free. The ones
So
that are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead. I
Oh,
apologize.
okay. So the ones that are free, we just basically call drivers. The ones that are not free, no, I'm going to be instructing you. I'm going to be showing you how to be a better dispatcher along with calling drivers.
Mm.
So there's two sessions that I give. I hope whoever sees this video, whenever you see this live, that it's at a time where I'm giving my free live cold calling sessions. But it's beneficial. It's definitely
Hmm.
beneficial. At least, even if you don't feel comfortable getting on the phone, feel comfortable listening to that conversation when a dispatcher calls a broker and tries to sell them their information.
So it's gonna be a phone call. It's not gonna be like on Zoom or nothing.
So my
Your workshop.
workshops, no. My workshops and my sessions are all on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do
okay.
them all on Zoom, and it's live. So it's not like, self-paced and all that other stuff. We're not
Hmm.
doing that. At this point,
Okay.
we want to get on the phone. We want to increase our customers. And so that's what we're going to do.
Oh, okay. And that's for someone who wanna be a dispatcher and own their own company, or just for how to be a dispatcher.
That is strictly for someone who wants to be a dispatcher, and also for someone who wants to have their own company.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I hear that, audience. Who out there want to be a dispatcher? Who want to do freight? Because that's what they call freights, right? Long trucks that be on that doggone highway when you got to move over a little bit because you be scared.
Oh yeah, those are the dry vans, the flatbeds, the
Oh
reefers,
wow.
all of that good stuff.
Wow. But before I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and don't forget Women's Empowerment is next week. November, I mean May. I'm about to say November. May the 2nd next week. So May the 2nd next week is the Women's Empowerment 11 o'clock in Toby Hanna. But I see you going in and out, Chasa. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I want y'all to enjoy y'all weekend. But Chasa, I know you keep having issues. Do say something something positive. Give a quote. Tell people where they can find you if they want to do your workshop. How to get in touch with you, be a Facebook friend, and so on, so on. Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so absolutely. So, guys, once again, my name is Chasa. I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Legacy Dispatchers. If there is anyone who may be interested in getting into the freight dispatching industry, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. My email address is Chasa, CHASA, at Legacy Dispatchers with an S.net. You are more than welcome to reach out to me if this may be something that you're interested in. And also, on a positive note, let me tell you something, guys. We bet on games. We bet with our family members. We bet with total strangers in the street, right? That's what we do. If it sounds good and we think that we're going to win, that's what we do. We bet. Do something different. Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. I've been betting on myself for 4 years, and I have been reaping the benefits. So I strongly, want to suggest that if you are tired of working for the man, if you have made a decision that, you want to go into business for yourself, go on YouTube, look up freight dispatching, go to my YouTube channel, Legacy Dispatchers, look up freight dispatching, find out the industry. There is money to be made in this industry because everything that you have in your house, from the table to the chairs to the dishes, all have come on a truck, all have come on a tractor trailer. So this industry is not ending anytime soon. Even when COVID happened, truck drivers were still out there on the road delivering our meats, delivering our dairy, delivering whatever we need. So I want to tell you, if you're going to bet with your family members and friends and strangers, try betting on yourself. Bet on yourself. Seriously. Seriously. So that is my words of encouragement today.
And thank you. But wait a minute. Your book. Tell people where they can get your book at and what's the name of it.
Okay, so my book is called The Do's and Don'ts of Dispatching, and it is on Amazon. It is on Amazon. So check it out, guys. It's called The
Wait,
Do's and Don'ts of Dispatching.
but look, I don't want to give your whole book away, but you got to at least tell us one do and one don't. You have to at least tell us that.
Can I tell you a do and don't from my personal experience?
Yes.
Okay. So here's my don't. I'm always going to go with don't first. Don't be desperate. Do me that favor. Don't be desperate. Don't be desperate. Do your research. Whether it's my channel or it's someone else's channel, do your research. If you have questions, you are welcome to reach out to me. I already gave you my email address. It's chasa@legacydispatchers.net. Bet on yourself. Okay? Stop putting your money in other people's pockets and putting it in other people's companies. You can do this. You can do this. Another thing I want to tell you is love it. Love it. When you're doing something that you love, it doesn't feel like a job. So try it. Give it a chance. If you like it, you like what you hear, you understand what you hear, then try it. If you try it and you love it, then stick with it.
Right. And you gotta love what you do, y'all. Y'all know that. Y'all know y'all have to love what you do, because that's just like going to a 9 to 5, and you hate that job. What you gonna do every time you get up? Damn, I don't want to go to work. Can I call out sick? Because you hate the job. But if you love what you're gonna do, you're gonna be yawning, getting up, going in the shower, and ready to hit the road. Even if you got to do it
Absolutely.
from your computer, because you can do it from home. You don't have to go in
Yes.
and punch a 9 to 5. And then one time, y'all, just listen to me. If you're working from home, you can skip the snowstorms.
Hello? Hello? I don't have to get on the road. I don't have to deal with that traffic. Absolutely.
Right,
Working
right.
from home is beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is beautiful. And I'm sorry that I didn't say this before, but if you do decide to work from home, you will be a 1099 contractor. Okay, so you won't be responsible for taxes. You will have to take your own taxes out. But you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it. I make my own hours. I come to work when I want to come to work. If my drivers have an issue, then I am readily available. But excuse me, it is nice to work from home. I can work outside on my deck, because that's where I'm at right now. I can work outside on my deck, or I can work inside in my office. But the flexibility is why I'm doing this, between the children and the household and everything else that's happening. This is the reason why I chose to do this. Although my husband suggested it in a totally different way, although he just suggested a totally different way, I decided to pivot from his suggestion, and now I work from home. So I have an 11-year-old. I'm home for her every day. We do homework every day. I have 20-something-year-olds. I have multiple 20-something-year-olds, and I'm here for them every day. I can advise them every day if they need me to pick something up, or if I need to, it's just the flexibility of working from home and having your own schedule.
And it's the benefit. It's the benefit too, because you don't have to go outdoors unless you have to go to the grocery store, do something. You don't got to worry about getting up, punching a clock, being late for work, cussing the supervisor out. I'm just playing, yeah. But you don't have to worry about all that stuff. People getting on your nerve, and it's just
mediocrity at work.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And you love what you do. You love, and that's the whole key. And I tell a lot of people that, like, you got to find something that you love. You find something that you love, ain't no stopping you. Ain't no stopping you if you find something that you love to do. So, again, I want to thank you for being a guest on Let's Talk To podcast. I would like to have you back, and you can join me anytime. And plus, I'm about to start having a panel. I'm about to get a panel together for mental health, y'all. So if y'all if y'all had that experience, or if y'all know somebody, or if y'all know like a coach or a mental health doctor, let them reach out to me, because I really want to take this to the next level. So I thank y'all again. Thank you, Chasa. I said your name right. Thank you again for being on Let's Talk To. Thank my audience for joining. Thank the questions. And I'll see y'all soon. Thank you, Chasa.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Good night, ma'am. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk To podcast with author Charnel Williams. Tune in next time every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to live, laugh, and love.